All right, so the New York Rangers win 4-3 over the Columbus Blue Jackets in a shootout, and definitely a big win because there was points in this game where it felt like that they were going to roll over and just let themselves they were going to beat themselves. That's how I want to put it. It looked like at one point they were going to beat themselves because you could tell they were frustrated by the horrendous officiating, but they didn't let it bother them. They didn't. It looked like they were frustrated, but Laviolette once again probably did it again between the second and third period. Said, "Fellas, let's go. Let's go out there and win a game. We got a period to do this. We're down by one." And yet again, phenomenal coaching leads to a phenomenal win. And just the way that these guys handled themselves in this game, a lot of adversity to battle, a lot of adversity. The officiating couldn't be any more piss poor. And I know that I talked about it in one of the wins and people were annoyed, but I'm going to have to rant about it because how is it? How is it that Sean Corrali could put his entire arm, elbow pretty much in Ryan Lindgren's face? They review if it's a 5-minute major, and they come to the conclusion that that should be 2 minutes? That? And then you have the Will Cooley goal. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We'll talk more about it as we go through. Before I jump into the full recap, leave a like on the stream if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next. But this game definitely the Rangers started off like okay. I'm okay with that first period with the way things went down. Wheeler and Kreider got 2-on-1. Wheeler couldn't pass it across. I don't know why he didn't shoot it, but Blake Wheeler in general has not been really doing any of that. Like he does not shoot the puck at all. He tries way too much to pass it around. Miller got a shot on the rush that got denied. Quick with a nice stop on Texier. Bad back checking there by that second line. Quick with another big stop. Miller out of position. We'll talk about Miller and the team defense, but it was definitely very suspect in this game at points, that I will say. Panarin tries to set up Trocheck, who couldn't tuck it in. Gaudreau almost tipped one in off of a shot from Jones. Rangers looked sloppy in the neutral zone, but Bonino made a solid deep play, and then Gustafsson too. But I felt they needed to tighten up. Trouba with a shot denied. Trouba almost got one off the rush too. I think that was from Panarin and Lafreniere. That couldn't go through. Miller got walked by Marchenko. And then here we go again. Here you go again. Totally forgot about this moment because it happened early in the game. So Marchenko walks Keandre Miller. Trouba throws a hit. What happens when Jacob Trouba throws a hit? Stuff happens. Confetti gloves. Granted, the gloves weren't dropped, but there was a bit of a scrum between Fantilli and Trouba. And for whatever reason, for what reason, I don't know, Jacob Trouba gets called for a penalty, and then Fantilli, nothing called there. The Rangers kill that penalty off, but still complete and utter garbage. And then Columbus was scoring right afterwards, though, as that ended up being Branson who put one on goal, and Danforth, it went off of him and in. Zach Werenski with the assist. Such a weird goal. Such a weird goal. But I digress. The Rangers, though, would tie it up at 1 very shortly after. Wheeler with a nice pass to Gustafsson, and then Gustafsson, beautiful. And Chris Kreider ends up banging it home at the open cage. And a 5v5 goal for Chris Kreider. You love it. And I thought that period was okay. My main takeaway from that period is I thought they were shaky defensively, but they started to tighten up as the period went along. The offense was a little slow. That's how I felt. Like I felt like their transition game was very slow, which kind of was their Achilles heel in that first period. they were way too slow in transition. Do you credit that to, or do you blame that on the ice? You could. Guys were falling nonstop. The Knicks played earlier in the day, and the Blue Jackets had some trouble off the rush too. So you can maybe say it was the ice, but regardless, yeah, the Rangers needed to be better off the rush. Then we get to the second period, and the second period was not necessarily the best. Was not necessarily the best, but the Rangers did what they've been doing all year, and they've just been finding ways, and they've been hanging in. Quick with a nice stop on line A. Gaudreau with a shot that almost trickled through Quick, but it wasn't on goal enough. Trouba got dummied behind the net, and that led to a chance. Thankfully, Quick made some more saves. Miller with a nice defensive play on Fantilli. Quick then makes a nice stop. Trocheck and Corrali then go off for penalties each. Again, it's just bizarre. It's just bizarre the way that some of these penalties were called. Trouba then gives the puck up, and Danforth gets a look in front of the net. That got stopped. Lafreniere with a pass over the Trocheck. He missed the net. And then at the other end, Trocheck gets tripped up. So the Rangers go to the power play. And unfortunately, the power play went nowhere. The best they had was like a Chris Kreider tip in from Mika at the side of the net, trying to pass it in or pass it to him and in. But yeah, they had okay looks. You had Panarin shooting the puck. Panarin had 8 shots on goal in this game, by the way. We'll talk about him later on. But the Rangers would end up making it 2-1 as Vinny Trocheck off of the rush finds Lafreniere, and beautiful pass, beautiful goal there by Alexi Lafreniere. That makes it 2-1. Panarin would get the assist as well, so his point streak continues. But then Columbus would score pretty much right after as Fantilli snipes one after Wheeler turns it over. Then they would make it 3-2 a couple seconds later as Texier fires one on goal, and the rebound is loose for Corrali to end up just burying it. Jones, don't understand what happened there. So you're getting set up in the D zone and you get lost. I'm a little confused there. Zach Jones, he has just not been. He just hasn't been good enough. Sillinger almost scored off the rush. But yeah, just a lot of guys out of position. Yet again, Gustafsson was out of position there. And the fourth line was just looking brutal on the back check. But that second period was horrendous in general. Sorry, I'm still battling this cough. But I thought the second period was brutal. If we're being honest here. Gustafsson had a nice D play. Third line goes out there. Good pass by Cooley to Kakko. He misses the net. But then a puck is fired from the side of the net by Cooley. And the Rangers thought it was in. The crowd thought it was in. And it couldn't be any more clear that the puck was over the goal line. So it's like, okay. They're reviewing the whistle. I'm in the building, so I don't even know when the whistle went off. But in terms of the fact that I don't have a replay, or I didn't have a replay to confirm when it did. But if my ears did not deceive me, I'm 99% sure the whistle was blown well after the puck was over the goal line. I do not understand. I don't understand. And this is just what bothers me about the NHL. Too much gray. There is not enough black and white. And that's where my anger is mostly tonight. The officials sucked. They sucked. It has sucked so much that here's a tweet from Snags. Toronto has never given the Rangers a goal on reviews. 0 for 38 now. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's just what I'm seeing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. There's a simple fix to this too, right? Simple fix. Either make it that, no, well, first of all, let's get a better replay system, right? Like, why are we sitting there with an iPad and a cheap pair of Xbox 360 headphones on, looking at that like that's gonna do anything? And yeah, Toronto's breaking it down. Are Toronto or the people of Toronto looking at an iPad? Like, I don't know what's going on there, but regardless, a simple fix to this is make it that goalies have to wear different colored skates, or They can't wear black pads. Wow. How crazy is it that I just fixed a problem in 2 seconds? Isn't that crazy? But no, that goes against what everything the NHL stands for. No, no special type of skates, no cool designs. It's got to be just black and white with the skates. Not the rules. The rules can't be black and white, but the skates, that has to be black and white. Am I crazy for thinking that that would be like a decent idea? Am I crazy? I don't know. I don't know. But even then, it doesn't take a all it takes is a set of eyeballs to see that that puck went across the goal line. And it takes ears to hear that the whistle was after. I I have zero clue how that was ruled no goal. Zero clue. I'm sorry for ranting. I know people are going to be annoyed that I went on a tangent about that, but it's just so infuriating. It's so infuriating that we have to deal with this garbage because the NHL just can't fix their rules. Imagine the Rangers didn't score towards the end of this game. We'd be fuming. Quick with a huge stop on Rozovic on a 2-on-1. Miller was out of position there. But again, not a great second period for the Rangers. They allowed 7 high danger chances at 5v5. That is not acceptable. They allowed 8 in all chances there. But 5v5, yeah, that was not good. The defense was just not good enough. The offense was meh. I mean, they were better than they were in the first period, but the defense needed to tighten up. But you know what? I'm not even mad because this team responded. They hung in there. They got good goaltending and they got a set of balls and rallied the troops. They went out there and I think this helped them too. Ron Lindgren gets clipped by an elbow by Corral. Bonino steps in and fights. They review it for 5 minutes. Lindy to the dressing room, and the review says after the review they reduce it down to 2 minutes. Stupid, stupid. And if are we going to be shocked when we wake up tomorrow morning and Sean Corrali, there's no news about him having a hearing? Are we going to be shocked when we wake up tomorrow morning to not see that notification on our phones? I won't be shocked because that's just the way that this goes. And the fact that they called it a boarding penalty too. That's not boarding. That's not boarding. That's a blatant elbow to the face. And now we have to worry about Lindgren being out with a concussion. This 5-day break could not have came, or 6-day break, whatever it is, couldn't have came at a better time because Lindgren's now probably on the shelf for a bit. We know Fox is hurt for a bit. He still can't be back for till the 29th. Hedl, you're hoping maybe is back by the weekend. Who knows? But now 2 of your top pair defensemen might be out because of 2 garbage, abysmal bullshit. I'm sorry, but bullshit. Dirty plays. And the league's gonna what? Do nothing, right? Right? Tomorrow, hey, a bit is forgiven. Not all because of how garbage this was, but a bit is forgiven if we wake up tomorrow morning and we see Sean Corrali suspended. But is that going to happen? Yeah, sure. I think you have a better chance of winning the lottery than Sean Corrali getting suspended for that play. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. Because the fact that they reviewed it to see if it was a 5-minute major and it got reduced means the league thought it was fine. It was just a little incident, no big deal. Caring about the player safety, my ass with this league. It's hard to be happy about this win. Don't well, to an extent, I'm very happy about the win. Don't get me wrong, but it's hard to be too happy when now we got two of the top pair defensemen out for who knows how long because of dirty plays. That's just what aggravates me the most. That's what aggravates me the most. And the league does nothing. Nothing. Because for a league that claims they care about player safety, right, right, right. I digress. We'll talk about the third period. We'll talk about the game. I apologize, but I have to. I can't help myself when this garbage keeps on happening in this league. Power play, though, got going a bit. Danforth then went off for a high sticking penalty, and the Rangers really need to score 5-on-3. They didn't even really get a lot of looks. Like they were missing the net at times. The second unit didn't get a lot of chances. Roslovic almost buried one after the penalties as he just burnt Miller. But Miller had a rough game, which we'll talk about. But yeah, the Rangers. I felt worried. I felt worried if I'm being honest, because the Rangers were getting the chances, but it just felt like they just weren't going to be able to get the goal. Merzlikins was just going to stand on his head and they weren't going to get it. The first line got some chances. Coley almost got a chance alone in front. Gustafson got a chance alone. Hooked. Oh, and there's no call. Panarin along the boards. Hooked. And there's no call. All right, well, the Rangers just continue to press and press and press. And with 8 seconds left at the buzzer, Panarin throws it on goal in front. Kreider passes it over to Lafreniere, who taps it in to tie the game up at 3. And I said it at the time, it reeked of an overtime / shootout game. And it went there. And then overtime was just chaotic. Gustafson hit the post after Kreider almost tipped one in before that. Gustafson had a nice back check on Fantilli. Miller with a nice play on Laine. And it just kept going back and forth. And I was stressed out of my mind. I was ready to go crazy. But the Rangers definitely got the better chances in overtime. Like Columbus, I think, had the puck more, but the Rangers had the better chances. They were the better team in the third, better team in the first, better team in overtime. Gotta win this in the shootout. And Jonathan Quick, beautiful. Stops every shot he faces. And Lafreniere, that goal that he scored in the shootout. Everybody talks about tap in Merchant. All he does is tap the puck in. I know it's a shootout goal, but come on. That backhand. Come on. Merzlikins froze after that. He didn't know what to do. But overall, I'm happy with the way the Rangers played offensively in this game. I'm very, very happy with the way they played offensively in this game. Fantastic. Defense, a little suspect, though. The second period, too, or especially the second period, I should say. They had 17 shots to 3 in that third period, the Rangers. But it felt like Columbus still had some good chances with those 3 shots, which is the issue. Cardiac Rangers. Like I said, I'm happy they win, that they won. Happy they get the 2 points. I would just love it, though, if they could find a way to just gel the offense and the defense together. But at the same time, if it's working, it's working. If it's working, it's working. And I trust Laviolette. After that second period, like I said, they were ready to go in the third. Ready to go. They were rolling in the third. And what do you know? They get rewarded for that good third period and they win the game. 11-2-1, 23 points on the season, third in the league, second in the East. So you take it. You take it. Um, they just need to find a way to clean up the second periods a bit because at some point, it's not sustainable to be allowing all those chances. But I digress. I digress. The Rangers still, let's see, what was it? They had four high danger chances for it. Felt like they had way more than that. What about in all situations? 10. Columbus had 11 at even strength against, but seven of those in the second period. Sounds about right. So, yeah, I'm not too worried though because of the fact that they're winning and because you have to assume it's going to get better. But I digress. In terms of guys that stood out tonight in a positive way, I mean, Panarin. How about this with the second line? What if I told you this stat from Johnny Lazarus? Last four Ranger games, Panarin, 3 goals, 5 assists. Lafreniere, 3 goals, 4 assists. Trocheck, 3 goals, 4 assists. How's that sound to you guys? Sounds to me like this team has one of the best lines in hockey. That's what it sounds like to me. Valley was pissed off about the referees too. Good. I'm glad about that. Um, Laviolette, it's a team sport right now. The guys are going into a game just expecting to win a hockey game. I love that. I love that so much. And then how about Erica Branson's post game quotes where he said his blood was boiling playing in that building? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Imagine well, Gabranson won't have to imagine that because Columbus, I don't think, is going to even sniff the playoffs. But imagine how that building will be, especially if the team's rolling like this come April, come May, waving the towels, waving them. Imagine how that's going to be. Lafreniere looked good. Trocheck looked good. This is all offensively, by the way. I don't think a lot of guys had a good defensive game. Gustafson, list pretty much ends there because I'm sorry, Zach Jones was not good at all defensively. Keandre Miller had a rough game. He had a rough game if we're being honest here. Jacob Trouba too. That pair has been so good all year, so I'm not going to freak out, and I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt on this one, especially because of the fact that you lose Ryan Lindgren and you're playing without him in the third, and the Rangers still they played okay enough in the third period defensively. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because of that. But yeah, just for tonight, not really the best effort from them. Yeah, I mean, Mika needs to start waking up. That first line in general, at least they got something 5v5. Chris Kreider, I appreciate it. Kreider had a solid game. I thought Kreider was good. But Mika Zibanejad at some point needs to get going. Like, I'm sorry, but he's just simply not he's not performing to the expectations that we need him to. And it's just infuriating. It's infuriating because what's going on with the one timer? Like, what's going on? He's not even hitting the net with it right now. It's concerning. It's very concerning with Zibanejad. He visibly looked brutal in this game too. Like, I don't know. And yeah, I was waiting for a comment from you, Richard, about this. One thing I can't get over being a fellow Ranger fan, is people are complaining about losing one game in 10 games, and that game they lost, they still got a point. What more do you want? It's just simply the fact that we know they're capable of being better than that. Well, they were good enough tonight, but they need to be better in their own ends at certain points. The second periods need to be cleaned up, and Zibanejad needs to be better. It's that simple, and it's just the facts. It's just the facts because if he does not get going at some point, like I said, that second line, I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but at some point, that second line's going to cool off, probably, or at least have a night or two where they're not producing. You need to have more scoring depth, and your number one center needs to be better than what he's been. But I'm happy with the offense. Like I said, they had 3.82 expected goals for in this game. At 5v5, they were expected at 2.1. So I'm not going to complain with the offense, but again, the defense needs to tighten up. The second period, uh, the second periods need to be better. They simply need to be better because I'm just worried that they're relying way too much on their goalies in these second periods. But I think it's more a matter with it that I don't know if it's them having a problem with the adjustments teams make after periods, or if it's a matter of just confidence or what, but something needs to be cleaned up. Like the defense needs to. The defense needs to be cleaned up in those second periods. But even then, like, imagine they even limited Columbus to half those shots in that second period. That would have been great. But it's mostly the danger chances too, like the high danger. Like you could give up shot quantity, whatever. But I just didn't like how many like high danger chances were against. That's the issue for me with that. But yeah, let's get to the chat, see what you guys have to say. I'm sure a lot of it's going to be about the officiating. And yeah, Corrali needs a hearing. In my opinion, that was premeditated. I agree. I agree. You're not going to catch me disagreeing with that one because it's complete and utter garbage. It's complete and utter garbage. But again, we know that's not happening. Mike Tomlin, Antonio Brown. All I'm gonna say is that last year Gallant would have had Goudreau out there instead of Lafreniere at the end. That's another thing too. Rangers lose this game last year. Big time. Big time lose this game last year. The situation room is a joke. How many cameras do you need to see that the puck crossed the line and yet you call it no goal? I want to know. I want this answer too. It's annoying. It's truly annoying. Yeah, Lafreniere would have been on the third or fourth line by now if Gallant was here. Not even that, but like Lafreniere, not his first game. His first game he was solid, but he had like 2 to 4 games after that where he hit a little bit of a rough stretch. Gallant would have juggled the lines right then and there. Yeah, my anxiety was through the roof at this game too, Logan. Cardiac Rangers. Cardiac Rangers. Hopefully Lindy is okay. Yeah, hopefully. Stupid league. Stupid league. I've seen less hookers in Atlantic City than the Blue Jackets committed in that third period, and they didn't call any of them. Nah. What are you talking about? I didn't see anything. Wasn't a great performance tonight. Defense wasn't great. Too many on-man rushes, and we were way too slow coming through the neutral zone. Credit to the team, though. We fought till the very end. I agree with that analysis. I thought they got better skating through the neutral zone as the game went along. But yeah, the defense was not good enough. The defense was brutal tonight. Yeah, so I agree that if Corrali's not suspended, it proves the NHL doesn't care about player safety, but I think we already know that they don't. That's the issue. Yeah, Lafreniere, he looks so confident. Like, just wait. Just wait until he starts feeling extra confident to where he's sniping the puck. And then all of a sudden, all the people that say tap in Merchant, tap in Goal Boy, they'll see. They'll see. I agree, Sal. Hopefully Lafreniere takes a huge step and keeps this up. Yeah, reducing that hit on Lindy was garbage. Gustafson was good. Couple nice plays from him. Coley was great as well. Loved his forechecking game, and he was robbed of a goal tonight. Yep, agree with that. Yeah, Coley's just the king of having disallowed goals. Clearly, whistle was way late. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, 0 for 38 was the number I saw on Twitter. Yeah, we don't get the calls now. I said it because I was at the game with Nico. I was saying it then and there. I'm like, we both felt it too. Like, this wasn't just me, but like we both felt as the longer the review went on, we were like, yeah, this goal's, it's not going to count. It's not going to count. We know this. Yeah, play was blown dead, but no whistle. That makes sense. And I get why they don't add goal line technology like in football, soccer. That's that way the refs have something that buzzes, which would let them know if the puck went in or not. You're using your brain. How many times do we have to have this conversation? Using your brain does not work with this league. Doesn't. Swept under the rug, yeah. Crowley clearly intended to hurt Lindy, but the NHL thinks nothing is wrong. Is it incompetent and embarrassing? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it couldn't be any more obvious, too. That's what's annoying. Miller True have been great this year, but tonight they really struggled. Their on ice expected goals against was 1.065, the worst of any D pair tonight. That makes sense. Yeah. Again, they were definitely not great in their own end tonight. Yep. When this team's healthy, gets a top six right winger, Mika wakes up, this team could be even more dangerous. That's the thing that's great. They're winning, finding ways. They're dangerous, and that's with injuries. That's with questionable play at times, and that's without help at the deadline that's going to come inevitably, or maybe soon. Who knows? Yeah, I hope Truba does something to Corrali next game. That was garbage. Yep, you can't go into the playoffs with one line rolling. I agree. But they'll make changes by the deadline then. So since the 70s, the Rangers always got a raw deal from the referees. I'm sure it dates further back than that, too. That's what's sad. Do you think there's any merit on the Kane Buffalo rumors? I wasn't going to really talk about this, but I guess we will since it was brought up. I'm not going to talk about it for too long tonight. But yeah, that report about how Patrick Kane might be signing a multi-year deal in Buffalo, I don't know. I have no idea if there's any truth to that. The thing that makes me skeptical about it is the fact that um that people that I know, and then Avery too, who's really been on top of the whole Kane situation. Regardless, they said that they didn't hear anything at all to back that up, which is a little puzzling. But apparently, according to Avery, that guy that had that report said said that he's credible. But his bio also says #1 Sabres fan. So I'm not entirely sure what to believe, if he's trying to throw something at the wall and see if it sticks. But if he's right, then yeah, he deserves his credit. But as of right now, it's a little bizarre because I feel like also big insiders would have been all over this, and they would have been tweeting about this, jumping on this, if there was any truth to that. Because there was, it was saying too, like there was someone else saying that it's pending a physical. If it was just pending a physical, there would have easily have been more tweets about this. So I'm not taking too much stock into that report until there's reason to. But yeah, we'll see what happens as the week goes on. We'll see what happens. Would you rather get Kane in a week or get Tarasenko back at the deadline? I'm cool with either. I'd rather get Kane because he'll be cheap and the Rangers could still make other deadline moves. Plus, on top of that, you don't have to give up assets to get him, and he could help your team starting by even this weekend, if not next week. So I like Kane in that aspect, but I'd be very happy if Tarasenko was back at the deadline too. I'd be very happy. Okay, it was the one ref specifically. Yeah. Here, let's go on Scout the Refs. Let's go on Scout the Refs and get the guy's name. Apparently, I'm seeing intent to blow the whistle was the reason. Okay, buddy. Okay. Okay. Intent to blow the whistle. What kind of garbage is that? Kevin Pollock was the one wearing number 33. Let's see. Rangers are 2-0 against when he's refereeing. This guy refs a lot of Columbus games. 3-3 for Columbus this year. Interesting. Rangers are 2-0 when he officiates. And then the other one was Brandon Buendia. Rangers are 1-3-1 with him as an official. Columbus is 1-4. Weird. Weird stuff. Intent to blow the whistle. But the puck was over the goal line well before there could have been any intent, which is crazy. But yeah, the linesmen were awful too. It was stupid. The fake puck drops is just stupid. Like, I don't understand the reason for it. It's so dumb. But I'm gonna wrap it up here. My voice is pretty much shot. But yeah, let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below too. If you're watching us on replay, would love to hear. Sorry about ranting about the refs, but good win. Huge win, especially taking advantage of a team coming off a back-to-back. Very pleased with that. So yeah, don't forget to leave a like on your way out if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel next. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you all. Appreciate you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go Rangers.